All right, today we're going to talk about Taiwan's red jewel, an incredibly rare mushroom that's making this amazing leap from an ancient folk remedy to a true marvel of modern medicine. Let's dive into the story of Antrodia cinnamomea.
So it's got this amazing nickname, the red jewel of Taiwan's forests. And that's not just because of its vibrant red color. Just like a real jewel, it is incredibly rare, super sought after, and it holds this immense, almost hidden power.
Okay, so the fancy scientific name is Antrodia cinnamomea, but in Taiwan, everyone knows it as New Chengqi. But what you really need to know is that this is a medicinal fungus found in only one place on the entire planet. And that one little detail? It's the key to this whole story.
So that leads us right into its origin story, which is just exclusive. I mean, this isn't something you're going to stumble upon on a hike. The requirements for this thing to grow are so specific that for literally centuries, it's been one of nature's best-kept secrets. Get this, the fungus's demands are just wild. It only grows inside a single protected species of tree that's native to Taiwan, the Cinnamomum kinnahere. Add to that the fact that it needs this high-altitude, super humid mountain air and a maturation process that takes years, and you start to see why this is one of the world's most precious and expensive fungi. So, for centuries, this red jewel was this revered folk remedy. But what happens when you take that ancient wisdom and you throw modern science at it? Well, the results are pretty staggering.
And this slide right here is the perfect bridge between that tradition and science. On the left, you've got these long-held beliefs, that it boosts immunity, protects the liver. And on the right, science has actually identified the exact compounds that do the work. Take the triterpenoids, for example. We now know they are incredible at regulating our body's defenses. It's a direct validation of centuries of traditional knowledge.
And when we dig even deeper, modern research has uncovered some seriously powerful abilities. We're talking about neutralizing those nasty free radicals, actually stopping the growth of cancer cells, and even triggering something called apoptosis, which is basically telling harmful cells it's time to self-destruct. The potential here, especially in cancer therapy, is just huge. This timeline really shows you the whole journey, right? It goes from a traditional remedy to being studied intensely at top universities, and now, today, it's in multiple clinical trials, with patents being granted all over the world. So yeah, we're way past folklore here. This is on a clear path to becoming a real, scientifically backed medicine. Okay, but with all this incredible potential, there's a huge catch. With all these amazing benefits, we hit a massive challenge. This fungus is, well, it's almost impossible to find. Which, leads to the question you're probably asking right now. If this stuff is so good, why isn't it a household name? Why aren't we seeing it everywhere? The answer is a classic textbook case of supply and demand on steroids. Really, the whole problem boils down to just one thing, the number one. It grows naturally on only one specific species of tree, a tree that is itself protected by law. This single fact makes wild harvesting not just hard, but pretty much unsustainable and often illegal. So how do you solve a problem like that? A problem created by nature itself? Well, you turn to science. And this is where biotechnology came in with a breakthrough that completely shattered the bottleneck that nature had created. The biotech solution here is brilliant, and it's basically 4 steps. First, scientists isolated the most powerful strains from the wild fungus. Then they figured out how to grow it in sterile labs using artificial methods. And here's the crucial part. They had to make sure these lab-grown versions had the exact same powerful compounds as the wild ones. Once they cracked that, they could scale up production, finally making this super rare fungus accessible to the world. And thanks to all that hard work, all that innovation, Antrodia cinnamomea has now earned its spot on the world stage. It's playing in the big leagues, right up there with legends like cordyceps and reishi. It has officially made it to the top tier. But wait, the story doesn't end there. Not even close. We're actually moving into a phase that sounds like something straight out of science fiction, where this ancient remedy is meeting the most cutting-edge tech we have. And this is where things get really, really cool. Artificial intelligence is now being used to basically supercharge the research. Imagine an AI scanning thousands of compounds in a fraction of the time it would take a human, perfectly mapping out how they work in the body, and even predicting clinical trial results to speed up the whole drug approval process. It's a total game changer.
And the innovation doesn't just stop at the science. It's even changing the financial game through something called real-world asset, or RWA tokenization. Simply put, it means creating a digital version of this biotech asset on the blockchain. This opens the door for global investment in its R&D, all while using the blockchain to make sure there's complete transparency in how every dollar is used. It's a brand new way to fund the future of medicine.
You know, this quote really just says it all, doesn't it? It's about the perfect harmony between Taiwan's incredible natural heritage and the absolute most cutting-edge science we have today. So when you look at the whole story of this mushroom, it really makes you wonder, right? What other red jewels are still out there, hidden away in nature, just waiting for the right technology to come along and finally unlock their secrets? It's a pretty fascinating question to think about.